episode, we have already set up our React router, right? This bike section and about us section, contact us section. Although we haven't added anything else, but you should see the link is changing automatically as we are routing to reactjs bikes website, right? So in the previous episode, we have already set up our React router, right? This bike section and about us section, contact us section. Although we haven't added anything else, but you should see the link is changing automatically as we are routing to each of our section pages, right? Okay, and all other the complete home page is already designed, right, in the previous episodes. So now we will be working on other stuff, that is bike section. So let me open it up and make everything leveled up. Okay, now everything is fine. Now I've already done like npm start here, and now let's get going. So first of all, let me remove this stuff we don't need, and then we are going to work on our bike section, right? So first of all, we have this bikes function. Then let's create a div for it that is already defined as in the previous episode we just said rfce, and all the stuff is already right there, right? And now let's just give this div a class name. Let it be bikes. And now in this bikes section, we need to give something called a search section. If I show you up here, you should see a search section. Let me go to the bike section, and here this is our search section. This at this top, search for the bikes you love and the search icon, right? We are going to build that. So first of all, let's have an overlook that what we will be building in this episode. So this is the search page. Here you can even search for all the bikes available here in this list with their names, and you can see the cool hover effect. And when I click on these bikes, it's gonna open something like this. Cool, right? We can close it from the top, and then we can even search for. If I say caliber, and if I click on the search, you should see bikes with caliber in its name, right? And then we have a cross button which undoes our cross section, right? I mean the search section, the results of our search, it undoes that. Fine. Now we are just going to build this. Okay, looks super cool, right? So we'll be building this in this episode. Let me make it small. Fine. And now it is good. Now let's just get going, and first of all create this search section. So I will say div dot search sect. Search sect means search section. Let me just say that change the language to, I mean both of them are at one side. Okay, let me just change it. Oh my god, what is happening? Okay, now it is fine. Let it be on the left and let our code be on the right. So let me just make it, what is happening guys, I don't know. Okay, now it is fine. Then let me change this language to React. Okay, now this is fine. Now we can use this thing, dev.searchSect, and now it is fine. Then we have something called an input element here, which just takes the letter, right? So I'll say input type text. Input type text. We don't need any name here or any ID kind of thing, but we need some other values, that is the value and all of the stuff. Now here we also need useState to update the text in here. So let's import useState. Let's use a useState here, and the name of the useState will be nothing but search. Okay, let it be empty initially, and then in this input element we need to give it a value. What will be its value? It is nothing but the search which we just created. Fine. And after this value we need to give it an on change. On change we need to do a function, that is we need to update this search, right? Then we'll say on change, if there is any change in this input bar, then perform this arrow function. And what is there in this arrow function? We are saying the set search, we just created this function with the use state to e, this e which we are taking, wait a minute, we are taking the value up here, we are taking a value up here as a parameter which just gives us this everything that is in this element. It's just selecting that element, that is this e here. So just say e dot target dot value. This will give us the each and every value available in here. Then now if I go here, there will be it, but we actually, okay, here is our input element. Now we just need to do some styling for this bike site, nothing else than that. You will be seeing that later on, but let's just give a padding first of all so that everything looks fine and neat and clean for us, so that I could just see the stuff much more clearly. So I'll go to bikes.css. Have I imported it? No. Let's import that CSS first of all. Let's say import /bikes.css. Fine, now I've imported that, and in this bikes.css we will say .bikes, and let's say background to be black because all the sections are black only. So let's say the background to be black, and then I'll give it a minimum height of 100 view heights. This will be the minimum height, and it can have more height than this one. Then we are saying the display to be flex, and then justify content to the center so that you see everything here is in the center. Then after the center we are giving it an align items flex start everything from the start, that is from the top. And then we are saying flex direction to be column so that each and everything is one below the other in a column wise manner. Then we are just giving a padding top so that it just have a space from this header section. So I'll just give it a padding top which will be around say 70 pixels because the height was I think 60 pixels. So now it is all good. If I remove this padding, you should see it somewhere here in the center. And after we create this, after we create this section, then it will go to the top as well. Now let's go to bikes.js back again, and let's create the other stuff, that is the buttons and all other stuff. So first of all we need to import some buttons, right? So that it's a search button we need to take that search button from the material UI as we are using it in our project. So we need to do that stuff. So already I have opened a button, but that will be used later on. So first of all let me just copy this placeholder if I can, but I think no, I can't. So let's just say placeholder. Okay, in this placeholder I will say search for the bikes you love. Okay, fine. Now I need this emoji. How am I gonna get that? Okay, I have to search for it. Let's say heart emoji, and now it is here. Let's just copy that, close this tab, paste it up here, and now this stuff should be in here. Okay, now you see that. Then we just need to get going. So here we just need to style it so that everything looks perfectly fine. Then we need to give a search icon. So I'll go here and search here for search icon. So it is okay, let's just check which one was that. I think it was this one, or it's something circular. Here you can see that it is circular. So let's search for search rounded. Okay, I think this is the one, search icon, but it was a bit different. Not this one exactly, but okay, somewhere from here. Okay, I had to go here and then I had to choose this one, search rounded icon. Now it is fine. I just need to copy this, paste it in here. It's now imported into our React app. Then here after this input element we need to use this. Now I will say search rounded icon, and we need to give a function here. Let's say on click, and in this on click function we have an arrow function. We have to define a function called bike results later on, not now, and we have to pass in the value of the search use state we just created. We have to create that bike results, which will fetch the results of the available bikes. We will do it in some minutes, a few minutes, so don't worry about that. So we will just search it, but for now I'll comment it because it will show an error if I don't do so. Then we just need to give it a class name so that later on we could just simply style it out. So let's go here and say class name, and the class name will be nothing but search icon. Now this much is fine, right? Then we need something called a use state for this cancel icon, the cross icon. That means that if there are results, if there are some results, I will say caliber, then only this cross button should be there, else it should not be there, right? So we have to check for that. And guys, I want to tell you one more thing, that is nothing but I give it an error page also. So you see something like this, an error page. This is a GIF actually, so we'll be using that stuff also. Okay, fine, then it is good. Let me just something again, say caliber, but make sure that after the error page I have those bikes back again, but at the top there will be an error showing up, and if I search now it is back again, fine. Now I have the cross button back again, fine. And now we just need to define a use state for that. So I will just say use state, and I will say it to be results, and let the initial state be false because initially the results are not fetched, right? And then here we just need to import the icon. Let's say close. It is something like cancel icon, not cancel rounded, it is cancel icon, just cancel icon. Yeah, this is it. Now let me just copy that and paste it at the top so that I could use it. After this search rounded icon, we need to use a ternary operator as we did before. What is it? We'll say if the results is true, then add this cancel icon, and in this cancel icon we are saying give it a class name equal to what? Equal to cancel icon, and then give it an on click. On click is nothing but again an arrow function, and we are just calling this by. It is a basic logic, guys. Now here we are doing nothing, we are just closing the results, we are just setting our results to false back again, so that it is just closing those results part and just setting our search to false, empty, so that it could just be fetched out. You will understand it later on when we just design the rest of the part, then you will get a better understanding of it, right? So now in here I will say set search to become empty, and after this we will say set results to be false. Now when I close this, again make everything normal as it was initially at the beginning. Then there is an error because we just need to add an else here also, which is nothing but empty, so in here we need to say just do nothing. If it is else, now this error will be gone, and now it is gone, right? Now the search section part is done. Now we actually need to define this bike section, so let's do that. So I'll go here, then up here I will say div dot bike sect, and in this section we need to do some stuff. Now there is something called no result page. If I enter something randomly and search, this no results page come into picture, right? And now we need to actually see whether how it is actually working. Now we need to see how it is actually working. So we again need a use state, so that when this is set up or not, we need to check that, right? So we'll say no result page, no result page, and now it is fine. Then the initial state is actually nothing but false. Initially this is also not there, but we will be adding that later on. Now in this bikes section we need to use a ternary operator which just says that if no result page is true, then do what? Then set this no results component, which will be added later on. No results, let me just add it, then I will comment it so that there are no errors, right? So I'll say no results. We'll be defining this one later on, so don't worry about that. Else do nothing. Fine. Now this will show an error because we don't have a no results section still yet, but now we will be defining that later on in a few minutes. Now here we are saying that if this results part is true, then do some stuff. Do what? We are saying this, then we have to create something called bikes list, and this bikes list will take an array as a parameter, or you can say as a prop, and from this prop we will be fetching the bikes list. So first of all, let's just add that stuff, and then we'll be doing the rest of this stuff, okay, so that it is much clearer and much better. So guys, before that we need to create an array of bikes from this one also easily. We can either use a API which image links and all, but we don't have a API for these bikes, so I have just copied that array up here, and I'm just going to copy it and paste it in my source code. Okay, now we have this avail bikes up here. I haven't defined this avail bikes yet, so let's say let avail bikes be equal to an empty array, and initially it is empty. Then we are saying that the first element of this avail bikes is the bike name is E caliber 9.9 XTR, then it has a price, then we have an image link, and then we have the bike info, some text about the bike, and then we have a buy section. When we click on that buy section, it just takes us to the official site of the website. So that is it. I have almost 9 items similar to that. You could just copy this from the source code if you want. And now for now, let me just comment this no result page also and save it up. And now we actually need to work on our bikes list section. So let's create that and then let's get going. So first of all, I'll say bikes list.js, bikes list.js. Then I will say similarly bikes list.css, bikes list.css. Fine. Now in this, let me close this bikes.css, and here let's say RFCE and turn it to reactjs, and then here this is our bikes list. Then we need to give it a class name. Class name will be nothing but simply bikes list. And then let's import the style sheet up here. Now yeah, that is good. And after this, what we need to do, we just need to fetch those items, fetch those arrays which we are passing in this prop. So first of all, we need to pass it as a prop, right? So let's pass it first of all. Then let me just go to bikes.js, and in this bikes.js we actually need to pass these props. So how will we pass this? So we will say that if results is true, if the results is true, then create this bikes list. Now as we have already created that, I will just do this and then close it. And in here we are saying that avail bikes means available bikes. In this available bikes we are setting this results array, which will be created later on, not now. So let me just pass in nothing for now because we have not defined it yet. So I'll just say empty. Okay. And else if this is not so, we are passing in that bikes list back again. And in here now we are passing that avail bikes error. If the results are not there, just pass in all those bikes which are available in that array, else pass in the results. That is what this is doing. Okay, so I'll say avail bikes. Fine, right? Now this is fine. Now we are actually passing in these avail bikes if results is true. Initially results is not true, it is set to be false. You will see that here it is set to be false, and we want when true pass in the results, but when false pass in this avail bikes. So when it is false initially, all the bikes will load, right? Now let's just get this avail bikes up here. Let me copy this name and import it here as a prop. Fine. Now we need to do the rest of the stuff. So now up here in this bikes list, I need to fetch that stuff, right? So I will just say in this bikes list we have to do bikes avail bikes ka fetch, avail bikes fetch. So we need to fetch each and everything in that avail bikes, right? So I will give a ternary operator and I will say avail bikes dot map, and this takes an arrow function which gives us each bike, right? Information about each bike. And then in here I will say create a div, and we just need to do some other stuff. Now actually in here we have to do other stuff like setting up this set shop card, this one, this is our shop card and all this stuff. So that will be done, but first of all we need to create an empty one so that we could just copy paste it, because our VS Code will not show suggestions in here. So let me just comment it for a few minutes, and after this I'll create a div with dot called let's say bike card. This is each of our bike card, so I'll say bike card, and in this bike card we are having something called an on click function, which I will define later on. Okay, and in here we are having an img with source from that bike.img which is there in our avail bikes. Here this img will be imported. In the source we will give that, and in the alt section we will give that name, bike's name. Okay, then we are saying an h3, we are giving an h3, and in this h3 we will have some stuff, and then we have the p which is nothing but our bike info. Right, now this div is ready. Now let me just control exit and paste it in here so that I could fetch the data from here. Now it is fine. Now I'll go to source and tell it to be bike.img, and in the alt section I will give bike name. Fine, and then in this h3 we are going to give something called as bike.bike name back again, because this will be the name. And in this p we are going to give that text we just created in that array, which is nothing but bike.price. Here, this price up here, right? So let's do this and say bike.price, and I have saved it. Now this is done, right? Now here actually we need to replace these stars with an bracket, I mean this curly braces with a bracket sign. So up here, if I change it to this, and now it is all right. Now if I go here, fine, I could just remove one from here and it is fine. Now if I remove this semicolon and add this one, now everything is fine. Okay, now you should see the images after saving. The information is already there, but it is not styled, so it is somewhere at the sides or something. We can't see it right now, but let's try to see it. Let's make it small. Okay, here is our price. At the top here you can see somewhere here. Okay, here's our name and all that stuff. We can find it that way. Okay, let me make it half back again. Now we need to say a div. In this div section, whenever I click, this section comes up, right? So we just need to create that. Then after this div, after this avail bikes part, we need to create another div. It doesn't have any styling, so it is just a different section. That is it. If we don't have anything inside the div is useless without styling. If there is styling, the div is actually usable, but we are not styling it, so the div is useless. But here we will say something called as click, which is nothing but a use state. So we have to define that use state first of all. Let's import use state. I think the React snippets will auto import it if I use it here. Let's try it out. No, it is not importing. Bad guy. Okay, let it be. We will do that work. So first of all, let's set up this click and let it be false initially, because we haven't clicked yet. So initially it should be false. When we click, it should be true. So we need to import use state. Now this is fine. Then here we are saying if click is there, show another section, which is nothing but this buy bike card. This card itself, where is it? When I click, this card is a buy bike card. That is a different component. Okay, so we have to import that. Let's say empty for now, and then I will say nothing but empty. I will say nothing but empty. Do nothing. Now we just need to say that when someone click on this bike card, set that to true, and we also need some other stuff. Now in this this bike card, we will pass in something called shop card details, right? We have to pass in the details so that the card loads up with these details up here. So what are we going to do? We are going to create another use state for the details and another one to close this section, this button up here. We have to give a div to close this button also, right? Then it will look much better. With if I can't close it, why am I opening it? So we have to give a function like I have to close it so that it is closed, right? So now we need to define two use states more. So let's do that. I will say use state, and in this use state I will say one to be shop card and set its initial state to be an empty array, which will have nothing but our information. Then I'm using another use state, and this use state is nothing but our close, the function which we are passing in there. So initially it is also false because we don't want it to be directly closed. When it is open, then only close it. Now on click of this each bike card, I will say on click, and in here I will define an arrow function, and in this arrow function we have to say something called set shop card. Now we have to pass in this details from this bike to that set shop card, right? So I'll say set shop card. As it is initially an array, we can just use this, and then in here we can just say one to be bike dot img, then the next one to be bike dot bike name, and the next one to be, and the next one will be nothing but bike dot price, and the next one will be bike dot bike info, and one more which is nothing but that buy link. So I'll just simply say it bike to be bike dot buy. Okay, now this stuff is done. Now this array is created. Then we need to say that set click to be true. Now I have clicked it, and when it is true, I just said here that when it is true, show that card. Okay, we will add that, don't worry. And after that, I am passing, say, set close true. Now that is it. Now when I click on it, this is setting the set close to true. So now this states that this button is now enabled. Now when I click, it will just make it false, and it will just close it up, right? So now let's define nothing but our buy bike card, which will be super awesome. So let's create another thing called as buy bike card, and we also need to style it. So I'll just say buy bike card.js. So guys, now you will be feeling that there are too many files here, so our website will load very slow, but it is not actually. These files are very small in size, so it is not like as you think that if there are too many files, it will take a lot of time to load. It is not so. Okay, just don't worry about that. I'll say buy bike card.css. It is fine. Now in here I'll say rfce, and let me turn it to React. And now in here we have to import our CSS. Okay, then let's give it a class name. Class name will be nothing but our shopping cart. Okay, it will be nothing but our shopping cart. Let's say it to be shopping cart. Then let's give it a style. Now I want to give a style from somewhere else. So let's define a style for it from this React. What I say is React style components, not style components. Actually, we will be making it with objects, React objects, right? Or JavaScript objects, you can say. I will say const style equal to an empty object, not empty object. I will define it now. So I will say position to be fixed in the center, and then I will say padding to be something. So I will just say that the padding is 15 pixels, and then I will say from top let it be what, 50%. From top let it be 50%. Then I will do the same thing back again. So let's say, but this time from left. Okay, and after this from left we are saying a translate, so that it's just something like okay, let me just tell you what happens actually. Now when I click on this, it just goes 50% from the top till here and 50% from the left. So it will not be at the center, it will be somewhere around here at this section, not in the center. So to make it center, we actually need to use this transform property. So I'll say transform translate, and in this translate function we need to say minus 50%, minus 50%, and that will be done. That will be perfect and working super fine. Okay, transform is done. Then we just need to give it a background. If we don't give also, that is good, but let's give a background because the default background is white, and sometimes the background doesn't comes. Okay, the default background is transparent. I'm sorry about that, I don't remember that. So it's transparent, you have to set it to be white. Then let's say add the style up here. The style will be nothing but this object up here, which is style. And now in here we have to do some stuff. We need to import some stuff from the shop cart details and close cart, which is the information we are passing in from here. Now let me just save it once. I'll go to bike list and I have to pass in some data here. That is nothing but, let's import and load that component first of all. It is nothing but buy bike card. Where have you gone? Buy bike card. It's not showing me any results now, but let me check it another way. So I'll just go here and I will say buy. Okay, now it is coming up. Let me just copy it from here. Paste it up here. Now is it imported? No, it's not imported. I don't know why it is not being imported, but I think I have to import it on my own. Or is there any error in the file naming? No, it is fine. I think my CPU usage is more, but let me try it once again. And if not this time, now I think this time it's imported. Yeah, it's fine this time. Finally guys, we imported our bike card. Oh my god. Okay, now we need to pass some information here, which is nothing but a function which is close card. A function which is nothing but close card, which takes in a function as its parameter. So where will we have not defined anything like close card, so we have to define it, right? So let's define it. Why waiting? So I say const close card is nothing but an arrow function, and in this arrow function we are saying that set close to false. Again, do everything to as it was before, then set click to false. I mean close the stuff. Now it is done. Then up here we are passing this close card function, and after this close card function we are passing in something called as shop cart details, which will be the details of our stuff. And now let's pass in that use state we just defined, that was shop cart. Fine. Now we have passed these things. Let's import them. Okay, now they are actually imported, and now in this div we need to actually get them up. So it is nothing but our buybikeCard.js, right? So in this, now we have something called a cancel icon. We have a cancel icon. We have our image, bike name and bike information, a bike car, a buy button, and all other stuff. So now first of all, let's give that cancel icon up here also. So I'll go to bike list. Was it here or in the bikes.js? Maybe up here. Cancel icon, yeah, it's here only. Let me copy it and paste it up here. Fine. Now in this div we need to say cancel icon, and now it should yeah, now you see this cancel icon at the center, right? Now after this cancel icon we need to pass a close card function to here, so that when I click on this cancel button it should just close that card. So let's say on click, which is nothing but an arrow function, or simply you could say something like close card. Arrow function not needed. Let me just make it short. Instead of arrow function we can just say close card. this will directly call that function. Now if I save, press here, it is closed. Now press in this here, it will close. Now you could see it is working fine. If I press any other bike, it will come for that bike, and so, right? Then we need to style it. Let's give it a class name. Class name will be close btn. And after this class name, let's give a font size to it. It's a initial material UI property, font size. So you will see it's a suggestion here. So I'll just say medium, or you can even say large, it depends on you. Now it's medium, and if I make it large, say large, you will see it becomes big. You see that? You saw that? I mean, okay, now let's make it medium. It's small back again. Then after this cancel icon, we need to have something called as img, which is our image only. And then in this img, we need to give the source from the thing we imported, which is nothing but shop cart details first element. The first element of shop cart details. Now let me just show you. Let's go to bike list, bikes list.js, and here you will see the image source is the first element here. So I'm just simply saying 0 here, right? Similarly, in shop cart details array, we have the bike name as 1. Bike name as 1, so it is taking the 1, right? And after this image, we have something called as h2, which is nothing but our name again. So I'll say h2 shop cart details 1. Fine. Then in here we have something called h4, which is nothing but our shop cart details second item. Is it second item? Yes, the price. Shop cart details second item. Then similarly we have, I think the next one will be price, or maybe, yeah, I think it's price only. Now it's bike info. Now this one, this h4 is price, and the next one, the p element. Let's define the paragraph as p, because p is better to use for paragraphs and all other stuff. So in p, I will just simply say shop cart details 3. Shop cart details 3, and then after this p we have an a element, which has its href to be the link we have generated in that array, that is nothing but shop cart, not generated, we just took it. Oh yes, we just took it. Then it's 4, the last one. Fine. Then we need to give something called as our let's give it a target and some other things also. So here I will say target to be underscore blank, so that it, when I click on it, it goes to a new tab and opens the link in a new tab, so that user may not close my site, right? Then I will say rel no referrer. What is the error? Okay, error in spelling. Now why the error? No referrer. Okay, spelling mistake. Still. Okay, anchors must have content, and the content must be okay. I have to give something up here. So let's say by. That is it. Now the error is gone. Right. Now let me just refresh this stuff once, and something happened. Now we just need to style it, so make it perfect. Then let's give this a class. Let me give it a class name. Let's say class name will be by btn. Fine. Now this is good. Then we have something called empty card. Why empty card? Because I want some space here. I will be giving it something like position absolute, so I need some space here. So let's just create that for reference. I will not style it now, we will do that later on. Let's say empty card, and it is defined, guys. Okay, now we actually need to style this stuff, but before we start, you should see here something. You should notice something here. We have some space above here. But I haven't defined any BR yet. We could do that from styling, and we will do that from styling, but from JavaScript as this one, because styling like this way gives me more maza, you say, or more fun. It's a more better way. Like I don't need to remember any CSS things here. Oh sorry, I just said reverse. I have to remember CSS things here if I'm styling everything from here, right? Because it doesn't show me any suggestions, so it's kind of CSS practice also, right? Good, right? So I'm just saying margin 10 pixels from top and bottom and 0 from left and side, and then I'm passing in that style to this h4. Okay, I did some error, and now it is fine. I don't see what is error, but we have to, okay, nothing is error. I think my CPU usage become more, so that is the reason it is actually showing the results slower. Now this should be styled perfectly fine, but now we actually need to style it to make it super perfect, right? So let's just say this is the cancel icon, which is defined. Now let's go to buybycard.css and style it up. Now up here we have the dot shopping cart. Then I will say overflow y to be scrolled, so that the users may scroll it vertically, not horizontally but vertically. I will say z index to be 10, so that it's above each and everything in this page. Then I will say width, let's give it a width. I will say its width to be a calc function, which is nothing but 100 view width minus of not 100 view width, let's say make it 30 view width, a bit less than 30 view width, which is nothing but 30 pixels, a bit less than 30 view width, and now it should be fine. Now you see everything fine. Now this is in the center, but why is that image like that? Because we haven't styled it yet. We have to style it, right? Nothing can be done without styling, so we have to style it. So let's give it a height of 80 view height, so it's like this. I can scroll horizontally. Then I will style that image. Let's say shopping cart image have a width of 30 view width. Now it is fine. Now instead of minus here, plus. Now guys, can you guess that why I added this 30 pixels extra? So that this card has some spacing from this image. If I remove that, you saw something? It just touches the right side. So that is the reason I gave that property. And now let's start styling the other part. That is nothing but our media screen. The screen size will be now max width 650 pixels. And in here we have to say shopping cart becomes we change its width to calc back again, this time 80 view width plus 30 pixels, because in mobile view we want it to be in a full, I mean most of the width should be taken by this card. Okay, then we just need to style this image also. So let's just copy this stuff from here, copy this, paste this, just add img, and we need to set its width to 80 view width, and not C width, view width. Now it is fine. Now when you see something like this, you see the size became bigger, right? So that is the reason we just did that or made that part. Now guys, after this we need to hide this scroll bar at the bottom because it's looking so ugly, or you can even style it, but now I am hiding it. I will say dot shopping cart WebKit scroll bar display to be none. Now it's hidden. Then we need to design this empty space up here. Let's say dot empt, oh no, emt, it was emt I guess, emt card. Emt card is equals to nothing but height of 50 pixels, and after this height we have nothing but a width is of 100 pixels, fine. And then we have this A button, and in this A we are giving it a letter spacing so that the letters are a bit farther away from each other. I will say it to be 1 pixels, and then I will give it a cursor of pointer so everyone thinks that it is clickable. Cursor pointer. Then I will say let's give it a padding 10 pixels, 20 pixels, and then let's say position to be absolute. Now fine. Then I'm saying its margin to be 10 pixels. Then I will say from right go 10 pixels, be 10 pixels from the right, and then now guys, just see, what if I don't style this? What if I don't style this? Right now it is nothing because you see this stuff. Okay, let's style a bit more. Maybe later on we encounter the reason about that. Let's give it a background black. Let's give it a color. I will say RGBA 255, 255, 255, 0.7, slightly lesser than white. Then I will say give it a border radius of 30 pixels maybe, and then I will say the border to be none, outline to be none. I think outline is not needed for a it is needed for a button, right? Then I will say give it a transition because I'm gonna give it a hover effect 0.2 seconds ease, and then I will say nothing but let's say text decoration to be none. Now it is done. Then let's add a hover effect. Now in hover effect I'm just making its background to red, color to completely white, completely bright. You saw that? Cool effect, right? Nice. Then we need to style this close button. So let's say dot close btn. I'll make its position absolute, so the space behind it is not like created like a fixed space, not like that. I will say from right be 0, from top be 0, and I will give it a padding. Now you see it at the top. And then I will say background to be red guys, and then after this background red I'm just saying height to be 40 pixels, 40 pixels, and width to be 40 pixels. And then we are giving the z index, so it is at the top, let's say 50. Then transition to be 0.2 seconds ease. Now use something like this. Then we have to give it a hover, which we just like this, which just makes it white. I copied it, paste it, say hover, just make it color. Fine, but I would like to make it 1 so that it's completely white. Oh, nice. Now this thing is styled, right? Now this thing is actually styled, but I think something is missing. No, it is closing when I open. Everything is done, right? Something is missing, isn't it? We have this one, okay, fine. We have this empty card. Okay, I think there is some error up here. Let me go here, copy this empty card from here, paste it here. Okay, now it is perfect. Now it is up here. Then I think this image has to be styled a bit. Let's try increasing its width. Okay, how it looks actually here, up here. Okay, there is some changes, some subtle changes here. I don't know what are those changes, but what are those changes? We have to see that. Wait a second, let me think about that. Okay, I think we will be styling that from some other cards so that it works perfectly fine. But if not, it does not happen, so just let me know in the comments, so we'll be designing it later on. Okay, for now let's go to bike. Okay, this thing is done. Now if we click on any other bike, it will give us the information about that particular bike, right? Okay, the empty card should not be here only. It should be at the end only. It should not be there. So let me just control Z. Okay, fine. Now it should work fine. Okay, it should be there. The thing we just need to do is nothing, but we just need to increase the width of the image. That is it. But I think that it can be done is a very easy way, but I'm not able to remember it perfectly, but we will see about that in a few minutes or in the next episode itself. Okay, if I just remember, because that is not important. You could actually change that by giving an extra width to this img, or just reducing the width of this card. That is your choice. You can do it on your own also. Don't worry about that, because it's too easy, guys. So, but I will be checking out for if there is an easy way to do it, because I think that the image should have only that particular value only, but we have to see about that. Okay, and after this bike card, we need to go bike list, and we need to style our bike list.css, right? And we have already created this bike list. We just need to create this bike list.css now. So we have already imported it, I guess. Yes, and now we just need to work on here. So I'll say display, I need to say dot bikes list. Bikes list is equal to nothing but display flex. Justify content to center, make everything to the center. Then I'm saying margin top to be 20 pixels, flex wrap to be wrap, and then width to be 100 view width, not C width, it's view width. Now you see something like this. Now you could see that the image just are aligned along the width, right? Then we need to say we need to hide the scroll bar here also. No, I think we actually need to give the scroll bar. We actually need to give the scroll bar, but initially I guess that we will be giving. Okay, let me see where the scroll bar is here in the official site. It's not anywhere, but it will be there. Okay. I got to know. I remember that what I did. Okay, let me show you. Here is my console. When I made this site for the first time, I gave it an option of scrolling like horizontally. So that's why I used WebKit scroll bar at that time, but right now we don't need that. So we just don't need that, so not needed. So now what I can do is just make halfback again, and here we can just say dot by card, and in this by card we give it some margin, 10 pixels, 3 pixels, and after this we give it padding 10 pixels, and after this padding we say color to be white, and then I give it a transition of say 0.3 seconds ease, and after this I'm gonna give it a cursor pointer so that user feels that it is clickable. So now the cursor changes on it. Fine. Then let's set up a hover effect to it. Hover effect so that it just goes to up a bit up when someone hovers over it. So let's say transform translate y, maybe because we just want to make it a bit only up. Okay, now you see something like this. Right, you see these cool effects, but we need to make it a bit more smooth so that when I hover over this card, you see the header is getting covered. So we actually need to see about that. So we just need to style this dot by card image now. So I will just say dot by card img. I will say the img background to be white. I think actually we don't need this, and I will say 500 pixels. I think we don't need this. Now you see it is super awesome as here, right? Isn't it cool? Okay, then what do we need to do? Now from here, let me go to by card.js because I just want to check something here. I don't want a margin here. Let me see now what actually happens. Okay, here we actually need that. I have done some mistake. Let it be normal. Okay, I will close this, and we need to style the rest of the parts. Again, we need a media query so that it's mobile responsive. I will say at a width of how much? Let it be 500 pixels because the image width is 500 pixels only, or maybe you can make it 550 or 600 pixels. That depends on you. I'll say by card img, and then in here I'll give it a width of say let's make it 300 pixels, guys, and then in here we will say nothing but the next thing will be WebKit scroll bar. We don't need any scroll bar. Yeah, we don't need anything. Okay, fine. Then I'll just say dot by card hover. This time on hover I want to reduce that. Here it is 40 pixels. I just want to make it 30. Just reduce it a bit. Fine. Let me make it small. Now you see it, right? Now it's looking fine. So guys, as we have done this media queries up here and we just made it mobile responsive, so now let's just work with this bike section, the complete part, this input and all its alignment and all other stuff. So let's get going. So first of all, I will say bikes.css. I will go up here. Then we have already styled this bikes part, right? So now after this we need to style some other stuff also. And what is the first one? That is the cancel icon, right, which we define to cancel the search. So we need to style it a bit, and then I will just give it a color of say white, and then I will say that let's give it a margin of left. From left it should be 5 pixels, and then let's give it a transition. Okay, fine. And after this we need to give it a hover effect, right? So let's do that. Cancel icon, hover, and in the hover let's just make it a bit bigger. With scale, then I'll just say 1.15. It just grows a bit bigger, right? Now this will only come when we have defined something like I say a case, a use state. When the use state is true, then come, right? You should find it here, right? So we just need to remove that so to see it working. So I'll just say Control C and paste it between two comments so that it's noticeable for me. So right here, and I'll paste it up here, and if I save it, you should see that icon. Yeah, here it is. Now you see the hover effect, and fine. And after this cancel icon, we need to say dot search sect. We need to style that search section, which is this part, this cancel icon and all other stuff. Not search, it is search sect. So I'll say this. Okay, now it is fine. Then here we need to say, let's give it a width so that I could align it in the center of the complete width, and then I'm gonna give it a display flex so that everything is side by side, and then I will just say justify content to the center so everything is in center, as you know. And then let's say align item center so they are center vertically also. So now it should be in the center. Yes, fine. Then we need to just style this input from this search sect. So I'll just say dot search sect space input, and in this input we need to say let's give it a background of transparent. Let's make it background transparent. So now you could see the background is transparent, and then we will make like let's remove the border from it. I will say border none, and then I would give it a padding of say 5 pixels. So now you see something like this, right? It's now a bit better, looking a bit nice. Then we should give it a minimum width. That is, minimally its width should be something like this. Because why I'm doing this, because you see here the heart symbol is not coming perfectly. It's just covering into the width, so we have to remove that, right? How much small it is, I don't want to cover that heart symbol I mean. So we have to give it a fixed width. So let's make 210 pixels and try it. Is it fine? Yes, now it is fine. Let me check how much width it is actually taking. Let me turn this transparent to red to test it. Okay, fine. So it is taking a bit more, so this is fine. Either you can make it a bit less, but 210 pixels is not very much, so it can be just, it is just simply viewable in all the mobile devices as well, so don't worry about that. Then we need to just do outline. Now why outline? When I click on this, you see this shitty outline here, so we need to remove that, right? So I'll just say outline to be none. So if I click, now you see nothing. Okay, fine. And after this I will just do, let's give it a color so that each and every letter in there is white. Now if I type anything, it's going to be white, else it should be black itself. So that is why I defined color white here. Then let's give it a transition, because I think that I will be giving it a hover effect. And then let's give it a transition for 0.2 seconds ease. Usually I do everything 0.2 seconds ease because it's a very small time, and ease, I love that ease because it's do everything like ease. You see this one, ease is, it's just scaling over with ease. Okay, that looks fine, right? And after this we need to give it a border bottom. Let's give it a border bottom because I would like to add something like a black hover effect. If I show here and here, you see this border bottom, this white line up here, and on hover I will make that this border bottom turns white, right? So for border bottom we need to give something like let's say 3 pixels solid white, but a dull white, which is a bit of shady white like this. So I'll just say 255 comma 255 comma 255 comma 0 point, let's say 0.3. This should be fine. And now you see that border bottom looking nice, right? Now after this I will like give this placeholder a bit of styling, right? I would just like to change its color so that it just looks super fine. Then I'll just do dot search set space input placeholder. In to style this placeholder we will just say nothing but simply let's give it a color. Let's copy this up from here and paste it here, and it is also 0.3. no, let's make it a bit brighter. Let's make 0.5. so now it's a bit brighter, right? And then let's give it a text align to the left, so it's always in the left. Now it is fine, or either you could just remove it because it's already in the left. Fine. Okay, after this we need to give that input a hover effect. So I'll just copy it from here, paste it here, and I will say hover. And on hover I will just say that turn the border bottom color, border bottom color to white. We'll turn it to white on hover, and now you should see that happening. Yes, fine, right? Now this much is styled. Now I think we also need a search icon here, so let's see. Let's style that search icon. After, I think that it is there but is not visible because of its color to be black, so let's style it and check it out that how we can just get that. So let's say search icon, and then I will give it a margin left. And in here I will say 5 pixels, and then we need to make its color white so it is visible. So let's see, yeah, here it is, looking nice, right? And then I will say that as the color, I've already made the color white. I would like to make it to the center. So I'll just say display to be flex, justify content to the center, align items at the center. Now this will be centered to itself. It will be centered to itself only, right? But it will just make a bit change there, not absolutely a lot change. This is kind of a change which you will not able to even absorb. It's not absorbable, but if you just make it inside, like if you increase its height or something, then it's gonna be like in the center itself. If you're gonna increase its height, it's gonna go somewhere top or left if you don't add the stuff. But if you add the stuff, it's always going to be in center. So that is the reason it's important to add the stuff. Then let's give it a transition because the same hover effect will be here also. So I'll say 0.2 seconds ease, and then let's give it a hover effect. Let me copy that, paste that, okay, dot, and then if I add this hover, and then same thing, that is nothing but transform scale 1.15. Now if you do anything less than 1, then it's gonna be smaller. So we don't want it to be smaller, we want it to be bigger like this. Okay, Now this is the complete styling for the bike section. Now we forgot to make some things, right? That is nothing but our search functionality. Then we need to give a results page, no results page. I mean, if you search something randomly and search, it's gonna show you this page. So we need to make that, and we need to give this search functionality as we already made this card up here. Now it is just important for us to actually make the search functionality, which is important. So now I will again go to bikes.js, and then we need to actually create a function so that you could just search through it. Now there is going to be a simple logic, like we will be using arrays and all of the stuff to create this search functionality. Now this is a very important thing, guys. This is not just styling and other stuff. This is actually something important. So make your eyes zoomed into in my VS Code palette. So I will just remove this cancel icon now from here and save it, so you will not be seeing this cancel icon anymore. When I search something, then it will come up. Okay, so now we need to define a function called bike results, which we just made here, right? So now here let me just uncomment this no result page. Actually we need to define one, and then we need to set that no result page. So first of all, before working on this one, I mean this search functionality, we will be working on this no result page. Why? Because if I'm gonna define this function, and in there I will have keywords regarding this no result page and all of the stuff, but if I don't have a component, why it is, right? So we need to like define it first, right? So let's get going and create files regarding that. So I will just go here and create a file called no results.js and no results.css. Actually this file should not be very big, but let's see, because we just have an image and a text regarding that, so nothing else in that. So I'm just gonna give it a class name. Class name will be nothing but no results, and in here I will give a p tag. So I need to turn it to React JavaScript, and then if I give this p tag, it should show. Okay, now it is fine. Then I'll just say sorry, what is there, I don't remember actually. So okay, let's just copy this up and let me just paste it here. Okay, now it should be fine. Now this is our component. Now we actually need this image, right? If I just do copy image link and open it in somewhere else, I should see the same GIF. Actually it's in GIF, so I just pasted this URL and get that GIF. So let me I already copied it, so let's just add that GIF up here. So after this p, I will do nothing, just an basic image tag, and in this source I'll paste this, and then in alt I would give error nothing found. If this image doesn't loads up, then this text will come up there, error nothing found. Fine, and that is it for no results page. Now we actually need to import our style sheet. So I'll say import /no results.css, and yeah, now let's go here, and we just need to style that no results. So after this we just need to say .no results, which is our class name, .no results, and in here I'm just say display flex, and I will say flex direction to be like column. I will say this to be column, and after that I will just say that justify content to space around, so that they are I mean that from all over they are evenly spaced, that it does. And then I'm gonna say align items to the center, align items to the center. Then I will just make its background black so it feels like this is from this page only, nothing else than that. Then I'm just gonna give it a color so that text is white in color, and then I'm just giving a margin to it. Let's say 20 pixels, page 0 space 10 pixels from the bottom, and 0 from left. And now let's save it. Now I actually need to import this page somewhere so it just comes up. So now let's just declare this one, and up here we actually need to import it. So we need to import it somewhere. I think it should be after our search page. So if it isn't after the search page, then it should be better, right? So I will just go into, okay, after the search page means before this bike section, right? So let's see. Okay, I've already defined one here, so we just need to uncomment that and we can use it perfectly fine. So now if I do here like no results, okay, we just need to add that again. So I will say no results. So is it showing me the suggestion? I don't think so. Okay, it's not showing me the suggestion. I have to import it myself. So I'll just go at the top, copy this one, paste it, and instead of here I will say no results, and here I will say no results. Oh, fine. Now it is imported up, and here now it is so. Now to get it working, we actually need to add that search functionality, but it is not styled completely. If I paste it up, you should see it this way, right? Now we actually need to add some other stylings. Now you see it looks something like this. I want this text to be in it. Actually you can add it up there also, it looks good, but I like it much better if it's in this image only, right? Like here in the image, and it's actually completely responsive. If you would see, its size changes up. So we need to actually add media queries up there so that it's like awesome. Okay, so let's go to no results.css, and we need to style some other stuff also. So in here, first of all, we need to style that p section. We just added in here. So I'll just say dot no results space p, and in here I'll just give it a transform property, and I will translate it to a bit bottom. So I'll say translate y, and translate y I'll just say 50 pixels. Go 50 pixels down, so it should be down, and now you see it's completely in this picture. And then I'm just gonna increase its font size. So I'll just say font size, and in this font size I will just give it 1.2 rems. It's a bit bigger size, so you see now it's a bit bigger. Then I'm just giving this image a width, a fixed width. Okay, so I'll just do no results space img, and in this img I'm just gonna give it a width of say 700 pixels. So now it is 700 pixels. When I make it big also, it's gonna be that only. But now we are going to add some media queries so that when I make the screen small, then it should look like when I make the screen small, it should look like okay. So that is the reason we'll be adding our media queries now. But before that, guys, I want to tell you something. This is important. If you are looking for jobs, internships, and free resources, free courses on the internet, just don't worry about that. I have recently found a community called DevNix where you can find all of them, right? So let me show you. They even have their own blogs, and in their blog they update information daily on a daily basis. If I found any courses there, let me show that. I will say DevNix. Okay, this is, I usually visit this. I think that it is too useful for me. Yes, and now you can see their blog here, right? If I show you this TCS NQT 2021, it looks super fine. You can just see TCS recruitment drive for freshers, right? This they're giving everything, all necessary information we need. So you can see company website. If I click on this open, let me click open link in new tab, you should see this, right? They are almost, you can say, working so hard on a daily basis. They are collecting information, and doing a lot of stuff. You see the site, TCS site, and yeah, they just update everything here, and they even update too many free courses. Let me show you here. You can see free Udemy courses with coupons, and sometimes with coupons and sometimes completely for free. Yeah, they have Tableau Masterclass, Advanced Data Science, and all the stuff. So they are just too good, guys. I can't do this. Each and every day they upload almost, I think, around 10 updates on a day, on a day, right? This is like, oh my god. Okay, so that is it about DevNix, and I hope that you will check it out. Just check it out, and if you don't like it, it's your choice. I just said just check it out. Okay, so now let's go with our project. That is nothing but, now let's give it a screen, media screen, and then I will just say max width 700 pixels, because here I've given 700 pixels. If I make small, it's going to be big, so I'm just giving it 700 pixels. Then I'll just say no results img, no results space img. In this img, I'm just gonna say, let's give it a width of say 500 pixels, 500 pixels. Then after this, that is it. Then we just need to reduce the size of our p tag, so I'll just say p, and let's give it a size. Let's reduce its size, so I'll just say font size 0.8 rems, and this is fine. Now let me just copy it, because we just need to make some simple changes. If the screen goes much beyond 500 pixels, we need to change that, right? So we're just gonna say this time the width will be almost 280 pixels, which is just like our cards, bike cards. And then I have to reduce this size to 0.6 ram, and now it is fine. Now let me check. Okay, now it is completely fine. Let me open this responsive tab. Okay, completely awesome. Now we could work on the next section, which is nothing but our main search functionality. So I'll go to bikes.js, and we have our function right there, so we could just do our work from there itself. Now let me just comment this up and hide it up. Now we should not have it. Okay, we don't have it. Oh, wait a minute. I think I showed you the part of this site. We have to show it here, right? So wait a minute, let's see now. I opened the DevTools for this one, not for this one, but I guess that it is as fine as that for this one even. Yes, it's completely fine. Now we just need to say something like let's comment this out, and then we just need to define that function. Now guys, just completely keep your focus on the screen, and let me make it big so that you could see everything perfectly fine, and let me make it a bit bigger. Okay, fine. Now I'm just saying a function const bike results. Okay, this is our name of the function. Then I'm giving the name will be given up here as a parameter, and then I am defining an arrow function for it. Now let's create an empty array. And after this, I'm gonna say that if the name is empty, if there is nothing, then do just alert something, right? So I will just say that if the name is triple equals to something empty, and then I'm just gonna give the set results part, set results to this, right? Set results to empty, or maybe false, right? It is true or false, so I'll just need to set it false. That means that set nothing, there will be no results if this is so. And then I'm just returning an alert, return an alert, like what? Return an alert saying enter some text to start your search. I think I have given that up here. So if you search, yeah, I have this. So let me just copy this, paste it up here, and fine. Now it should work here also. Okay, we haven't called this function yet, we have to call it, right? So up here, this is it. Now let's see. Now you see the same thing up here also. Now let's get going with this function, and after this we need to do what? We need to say, we need to just add some results array, right? We need to make an results array where our results are getting in, and we will fetch that results array into our bike list. So I'll create a use state with the name as results array. Fine. And it should be an empty array. Fine. Now after this we are saying that set the results array to be empty if this is so. Later, now I will be adding something like an if condition for that, right? Set results array to be empty, and to set it we need some open brackets and this in there. If I save, it is fine. And after this we need to say avail bikes, all the available bikes. We have this avail bikes. From all them I'm just adding a map function, and in here we are taking the element as well as its index, e comma I, e for element and I for index. And now after this we will say that let the string, this will be the name of the bike, and we are converting each and everything to lowercase so that it is easy for us to match the names of the bikes with this name. If we keep it as it is, it may be difficult for us to do that because the names here are capital as well as small, so it will make a bit of difficulty for us. So we are converting each and everything to lowercase. So let's say e dot bike name dot to lowercase, and this is our function. Fine. And then we need to say this name becomes this string, I mean name dot to lowercase. Now what is actually happening here? We are converting the bike name to lowercase and the result, and the thing we are searching for that to lowercase, and we will just match this up. Now we will just match these both things, right? Then we could just easily search them up. Now what I will do is, we have this empty array, right? Now we will push our results to this array, and then we will render our information from this array itself. So I will say array dot push. In this array push some stuff, and what you need to push, and you need to push this string dot match and name dot name. Now just make sure that why we are doing so, this is because this is in a loop. This will do the same stuff for each and every element in this avail bikes, right? So we will push if this name matches with any of our elements bike name, then we are pushing all those bikes in all those cards, bike cards, into this array. Okay, make sure that you are doing everything fine, correct, I mean. And after this we need to say that we need to have some if conditions to actually work it out. So I'll just say if string dot match. Now guys, I'm using JavaScript regex here, that means regular expressions. You can just check out them on the internet, or you can just find some tutorials about it on YouTube. Or if you don't know regex at all, just let me know in the comment section, I will make a video on it. Okay, and after this I'm just saying name string dot match name is not equal to null. This means if string is matching with the name, if it doesn't match, it will give you a null, but if it's matching with the name, then it will give you that array, right? So if it's null, I mean not equals to null, I mean that if it matches with the array, I mean that if it matches with the string dot match name, then you do something. And what is it? They set the results array with the new results, right? So I'm just setting set results array with what? We just need to just take that previous state also, whichever is there. So I'll just say prev state, or let's make it previous result so that it's understandable. So I'll just say previous results. We are taking that stuff, previous results, and then we are adding something like this, and we need to say triple dot previous results, and in from this previous results we need to say pass this e in. Now guys, why we are doing this? Can't we do set results array dot push? No, because this is a use state, it has something different. Now we are taking all those old elements which are available in set results array, and we are passing in a new element into that array which already consists previous array. If you just add this e up here, then it is not going to take this previous results, it will set a new array only with this element. So that is the reason we do it this way. Okay, and after that what we need to do, we need to add another if condition. Okay, in this if condition what will we do, we just say I if the index is equal to avail bytes. This means that if it is the last element, then we need to stop that, right? Stop this loop. Then we are just saying that if it is so, then, and also if it is like if array dot every element is I mean that if array dot every, this means every element from the array. Okay, let me code that and show you so that you can understand it much better. So I'm just saying if this array dot every element, let me just add element up here and then do something like this. If every element is like element, this element equals null, if each and every element of this array is equal to null, I mean is null, then we need to do some stuff like add triple equals, then it should be fine. Now if it is so, if every element is equal to null, then we need to say that return this set no result page. I have to say return the set no results page to true, make it true, else make it true, else do what, else make it false, else return set no results page to false. Now guys, you may be wondering that why am I using return here? Actually we don't need return up here, but as this is an array map function, we actually need to add a array map function. You should see here expects a value to be returned at the end, right? So we need an return value if we are using array dot map. If it's not map, then it is okay, right? Now we just define this avail bytes dot length, and now actually we need to set if this is not the case. I mean that if this is not the case, then we need to do some other stuff. This is our if condition. If this is not the case, I mean that if it is not the last element, then do nothing, then just say set results to true. Then I'm just saying at last return the set results okay, set results to true at n. If this is not the case, then return the set results to true, else do this stuff. Okay, now this is fine. And after this, is this the if condition? Yeah. Now here the code looks a bit ugly. You can just, it's already formatted, but if I would create some empty space here, then you should see it much more clearly. Okay, now this may be a bit cleaner. Let me make it a bit small so that you can see everything. Okay, fine. Now after this we just need to define an else function for this condition we just made here. So here I will just say else, and in this else we are again doing something similar. That is if this index is equal to the last index of our avail bytes, I'll just say avail bytes dot length minus 1. Why minus 1? Because length starts from 1, but whereas the index starts from 0, that is why at the end we are doing something like minus 1. Okay, then here also the same thing. If array dot every element, let me make it big. I think you will not be able to see it if you are using a mobile. Okay, don't worry, I made it big. Okay, now it is fine. If every element if every element is like we are taking that element, the same thing is equal to null. If every element is null, then we are doing something like return set no result page to true back again. So it is up here. If every this thing, I just copied that and we just need to paste it up here. So you just now see set no result page to true, else return set no result page to false. Where is it? Okay, here. We just need to copy it and paste it up here. And after this, we need to say we just need to define an else condition. If this is not the case, then what you do, just return nothing. As it is a map function, we just need to return each and everything, so that's why I'm just doing this, else we don't need to do that. But as it is a map function, we need to actually add that. Now guys, I will add a link to the screenshot of this thing with comments that why we are doing this stuff in the description, so that you could just understand this completely fine. Now I'll just add a link to this stuff add there, so don't worry about that. Now we have this results array, right? Now we need to play with it. I mean that we need to pass this in here. We need to pass this in here. So in here we are just passing in this results array. So I'll just do like results array, and it is there. Now it should work everything fine. So let me make this big, refresh once, and now let's try with this no result page. I mean there is no result. I'm searching something random, and you see this page, right? You see this page coming up with something random. And now let me search for caliber bikes. I will say caliber, and if I click on search, it is showing me all the bikes with caliber name in it. And then if I search something like let's search for slash, one bike with this name is there. You see slash 9.8 GX AXX here. This is the only bike with name slash in it, and if I click on close button, you see everything is normal back again. And now this is the beauty of that particular code, guys. How many lines? I don't remember. I think we can make this small, but we actually need to work on this. Let me just calculate the number of lines. We just created this function from 106 to 135. So 35 minus 6 is nothing but 29. So 29 lines of code. Okay, this is a bit bigger. We can actually make it small, but we have to think upon it. If you get any idea of making it small, just let me know in the comments, okay? Or if I find anything a bit smaller than this, then I will let you know. And this is fine. Now this thing is working fine. The cross button is also coming. Let me show you by searching for this Roscoe 8. Let's search for Roscoe 8. And now you see this close button also. So our search page is finally complete, guys. Each and everything is made here. And now let's just try something about this. I think if we go here, it looks like a bit at the top, so we just need to make it as small. It is a bit smaller here. Then we just need to make everything's position absolute, and that is the reason we are not able to actually work on that. So let me just kind of work on this and see that what can I do about that. Let me make it a bit smaller, then close this bikes.js. I don't need that anymore, and I'll just close all the stuff because we just want to work with that card. And yeah, so I'll just go to buybycard.css, and in here let's test it out that what can we do about this. So I think I should open my JS files to see that the names of our elements appear. So we have this button, right? This cancel icon, which has a class name of close button. Close button. Now where is that close button? So here it is. It is position absolute. Let me make its position fixed and see what is happening here. So if I make it fixed, is anything happening? I don't see anything happening. I need to make it small, I guess. And what I did here, it's medium. Let's make it small and see. Okay, it is small. I think now it is looking fine, right? Okay, now it is just taking some width. Why are we giving it some width? I don't want it to have any width up there. So I'll just go to the CSS up again. And something here only, guys. Something is happening here only. I just want to make so that it doesn't take any width. It just comes above each and everything right there. So we have to have a look on that. I don't think I did anything wrong here, but we have to see about that. If I make the position fixed also it is working, but absolute should also work there. This width, this image is taking some width. Okay, let me make it 30. It should be 30. Now the width of this card should also be 30. Okay, I think that yeah, we have this thing. If I reduce its width to 15, it's gonna change, right? Yes. Okay, I think there is some problem with this width only. Let me make it a bit smaller. Let me just remove this 15 pixels up from here and see. Okay guys, I just added that 15 pixels and we actually need to remove that, and now it should work fine as before. So I just made a silly mistake here, guys. So now you see it's completely fine and looking completely badass. Oh my god. So this episode took a bit longer time than other previous episodes because it's the most important part of the site, that is this bikes section. Now we actually need to add this option up from here. When I click on this browse more bikes, we actually need to add this functionality, so let's do that. Okay, so to do that we just need nothing. In the home section, we need to import the link and pass it in here. That is it. We need to do nothing else in that. So as we did in the nav.js, if I show you, we took this link, right? Let me copy that stuff up, and then if I go to our home, where is it? Up here, home.js, and if I paste this in here, and you should see something like this. We actually need to add this button into this link. So let me hide this up, cut this, add that link tag and close it. And here we need to add that to, right? To equals slash bikes. Take me to slash bikes, and in here we are just adding that. And now you should see it is taking us to the browse more bikes section. Now again, if I go to home, if I go browse more bikes, it's just taking us. If I click on right on track, okay, we actually need to give an link tag up here also. So this right on track button takes us to this home page, right? We actually need to do that. So I will just go to the header, and from that header we can just add this link again to this button right here. So we could just go to the header to make it work perfectly fine. I'll just copy this back again, and because we need to paste that in the header.js and up here, fine. And after this, here we have this h1, and we just need to add that h1 up here. So I'll just say link, and here I will just add something called to. And in this to, we're just nothing, we are just adding this slash, that is it. And in here we will be adding that stuff, and now it turns blue because now it became an a tag and we actually need to style it. So I'm just saying const, I'm just giving it a style from here. So I'm just saying const, and then in this const I will give it something like brand head. Okay, it become brand head, so I'm just saying brand head. Now this is nothing but an empty object. I'm just setting its color to white, and then I'm just removing the text decoration, that is it. I'm just saying text decoration none, and if I save this and pass it in here, if I say style, and here if I say brand head, and now it should be fine. Now you see something like this. I don't see why text decoration. Okay, spelling mistake. Now you see it is completely fine, and this just takes me to bikes, and this just takes me to home section. If I do the same thing from about us, it just do the same thing. So guys, in the next episode we'll be finishing off with this project. We'll be making both about us and contact us section in a single episode, right? So if I go to this about section, we will be building the school about section, and as well as the school contact us section also. I will be teaching you in the next episode that how we are going to give this chat option. Now whenever someone sends a message here, it just reaches me out, it just come to me, or you can read it. This goes to my page, and I have already given my Instagram link here because I just added this project to my portfolio, which is currently in building stage. So I am building currently it, so when it gets completed I will show that to you. Okay, fine. So that is it for this video, guys. We'll meet you again. I will meet you again in another beautiful episode just like this one. Okay, so in between I talked about this devnext.blogspot.com. This is a beautiful site. They have a WhatsApp group, a Telegram group, where all these updates are shared. You no need to visit their blog again and again. You just join one of their groups in WhatsApp or Telegram, and you can easily get all updates right from there. So if I just go here, WhatsApp, you have this link. Just click on that, join chat, and you will join the group. And from that group I think you can also join the Telegram. They have not given any Telegram up here, but you can join that. Okay, so just check it out. Okay, we have this community tab. In this community tab, I think, yeah, they have given the Telegram channel also. If I click on this Telegram doesn't, Google Chrome doesn't opens it, so you can just open that in your mobile through the app. So that will work fine. Okay, that is fine, guys. That is it for this episode. I will meet you back again in another badass episode of this series. Until then, just keep practicing React, keep building new things, whatever you have learned, and make sure that you understand that search algorithm I used here in this bike section. Don't forget, don't neglect this. This is important. And try to make it short if possible, and let me know in the comments if you are able to make it short. You are actually able to apply your own logic and all other stuff. Okay, just make sure that you do that. And don't forget to check out the image that I'm gonna share in the description as well. So just check it out, and I will meet you again in another episode. Okay then, bye guys.